Well, hello everyone. Hello to my subscribers and the ones that are just passing by. I want to talk about that yesterday I had a tea party at my house. I decorated my table, just like they were going to a tea party, and we had some really awesome food. And so what I learned from that, and there were 4 women that showed up. So there's a total of 5 of us. And what I learned, it doesn't matter what you serve at your table, it matters who you put around your table. We need to get back to the table. We need to get back to having people into our homes and fellowshipping with each other. There's something that happens when we're at the table, and there's community, and there's stories, and there's conviction with each other, and there's us sharing our stories and realizing that somebody else went through the same thing. There's something about gathering at the table. And I think that during the pandemic, we all lost that. We all were afraid to be in people's homes. We were afraid of the fear of what the society and everybody else said that we were supposed to be afraid of. So we stayed away from each other. We became introverts. We became fearful. But now, let's get back to the table. Let's get back to fellowshipping. Let's get back to having people at our home and sharing our table. There's a lot that happens at the table. There's a lot of healing that happens at the table. There's a lot of conversation that brings, discussion, that we need to continue to discuss what's happening in our lives and in the lives of others. And we realize that there's healing that takes place. We realize that the more that we bring people to our table, the more that people feel comfortable in their skin, and they feel comfortable, being with other people and sharing their stories. I do have a ministry called Healing Through Stories, and that is why it's so important for me to get together to be the example of having people in my life that they have the openness and they have the time to be able to share their stories. Because when you bring them to your house, there's moments that you get to share some intimacy, and you get to share some stories that maybe have broke your heart, but then in sharing them, you realize that you're not alone. So I am encouraging you. I'm encouraging you to open up your home, open up your table, open up time to break bread with one another, because there's something that happens when you break bread with other people. There's something that happens when we're all around your table and there's communication and there's discussion. I think and I believe that the more that we have people at our table, the more healing happens. There is healing